Ladies and gents, how is everyone doing? Can I be heard? Is this good? Is this working? Just before we kick off. He's tired. Bless him. Doing alright. Doing pretty decent. Not too tired. 2.9k points for, obviously. 10 points for Lamau. Someone could have won a huge bank if that was right. Good, how are you? I'm doing well. I'm excited. It's time. As it is 5 o'clock in the beautiful land of BST, we will begin with the news. Which means... That's a very loud notification. Probably should mute that, actually, before we begin. So I don't want my computer to be exploding the whole time. That would be decent. Let's just sort this out properly. Here we go. Right. Here we go. Ladies and gents, welcome to episode 3 of the Need Healing podcast. We have 6k channel points in favour of obviously, which I do believe is going to be the right answer, otherwise that would be the biggest scam that I've ever seen. We will do that in a second. But ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by TG, this is the Need Healing podcast episode 3, and we're going to be running a bit of a different format today. We're doing a bit of an announcement session. As you can see, I'm on my own today, because it's time. Big groggy in the chat. How you doing, George? Basically, ladies and gents, I have a lot of information to bring to you regarding a certain event that we have coming up. Because I know that there's been a bit of confusion. There's been a lot of mishaps when it comes to details, which we won't blame anyone for. So we will be doing this properly, once and for all, in a big recorded... I shouldn't throw Lacken under the bus like that, I was joking. I am joking, Lacken, if you see this, I love you, I don't mean it. But no, this is genuinely going to be a bit of a Q&A session in a bit as well, if you guys have got any questions. But I've got lots of great news to bring to you guys. How are we doing? Are we excited? Let's choose a prediction outcome. Are we going to scam everyone? Who was it who... Macken. It was Macken who put Lamau. No, okay, well that's easier. Even easier to let Lacken lose 10 points. There we go. You guys all get 1 and a bit points each, more or less. Of course, Macken was the only one who put Lamau. What am I thinking? Crazy to think he'd be on the voice of reason. Well then, I suppose there's no time quite like the present. This is obviously going to be recorded in the same way it always is, so this will be readily available on the YouTube when we're done, which is good, because that means if anyone misses out on today's little session, they'll be able to look back and hear everything in concrete, so that the information is just there. Okay, so we're going to begin. Right. So the first thing I would like to actually begin by announcing is that this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a league tournament format. Okay? And what this means, basically, is that the squads as they stand for half of their normal sessions will no longer be the squads as they stand, and instead each one of you who signed that lovely form and given me your details so I can create relatively balanced teams will be put into random teams with random people, perhaps people you've never played with before, for a duration of time in which you guys will train together, practice together before going into a series of league format matches, right? And we're going to get into a bit more detail about that in a little bit. But these teams will be balanced by myself with the help of Lacken. So hopefully we will know what we're talking about. And also, the plan is currently, depending on numbers, that myself, Lacken, and Dankdabs from the NA side, the battalion staff, will not be taking part. And the point of this is because, for a couple reasons, one of which being we want the teams to be as balanced and as fair as possible. Right? We want the teams to all be equal in terms of strength, with no potential bias from me stacking a team with me and other people on it. We're not going to have any of that. There's not going to be any randomness, okay? It's going to be all very organised, all very calculated to be fair and fun for everyone, okay? And, at the same time, as we've been doing with the TG Fun Nights recently and the Scrim Nights, All of the matches will be streamed and commentated in official Overwatch League standard caliber format. Okay, and we're going to get into a bit more of that as well. So we're going to have a proper TG run, commentated, streamed, hosted by the TG Twitch. Hopefully we need to get that sorted. I haven't really got the information to confirm that, but we'll pretend that it is, in a fashion that will be very exciting and very fun for everyone, to bring some excitement in, right? To get the blood pumping a bit, get some stream content as well for myself and Lakin, and also to have the VODs for you guys to be able to look over when you guys have finished your matches. So, with that being said, we're going to announce the format of the competition. Sponsored by Cheese It Grooves. Can you imagine? We don't have a sponsor, but at the moment it's just sponsored by me, I guess, because I'm going to be streaming it and commentating over it. Okay. The current plans, as they stand. This is subject to very minor change, probably not too much change. But as things stand, there's going to be 5 teams of 7 players. Okay, this could be raised to 6. We don't think it's going to be raised to 6. We're going to have 5 teams of 7 players, which will all consist of players from every squad, including the NA teams. Okay, these teams will be together during Sunday's regular European practice session time. So for anyone BST, regular 7 till 9. For Fluke, 9 until from 8 until 10. For George, 9 until 11. Just for random time zone differences, but it will be your regular Sunday practice time. You will be with your new teams, meaning that on Wednesdays you will still come together as your old squads because we will still remain as squads during the time period. Okay? This is something that really needs to be well understood, is that this is only going to be taking place on Sunday as a side event to your main practices, but it will be taking a bit of a priority during the tournament time. Okay? That's the main first thing. Now, the fun part is the format of the actual competition. You will have 3 weeks worth of Sunday practices, so 3 sessions, with your new team. In those sessions, you will be able to practice, get to know each other a bit, pick roles, pick roles. Won't realistically be picking roles, but picking heroes within your roles that you're going to be given, and be able to build team comps, prepare for certain maps, get you guys a little bit more chemistry between each other, okay? As every squad should before a major league format will begin, and you will have 3 weeks to do this. This will then be followed straight in by a format of 6 weeks worth of competitive fixtures, okay? 5 teams. You will each play each other twice. So for the first 3 weeks, you will arguably, hopefully, play against each other with 1 bye week. And for the second 3 weeks, the same. Most teams will get 1 bye week, meaning that you'll have an extra week of practice. Okay. This will tally up an Overwatch League-based score. If anyone knows how the Overwatch League works, it'll be like a stage 1 before a tournament, where each win will count towards just a win or a loss counter on your team's list. So, for example, let's say a team played 4 games and won 4 and lost 0. Their overall score will just be 4 and 0. If they'd won 3 and lost 1, 3-1. And this will be how we calibrate the teams going into the next stage of the tournament, which will be a knockout bracket leading up to a final. So the way it's going to work is very simple. 5 teams. Okay? The top 4 teams qualified to the tournament. Okay? So you will play each other in a regular league format, each playing each other twice, and the overall lowest point scoring team will be relegated from the competition and will be out, leading into a tournament bracket with 2 semi-finals of 2 teams, leading into a grand finals, which will be duo commentated by myself and Lakin. Okay, so just to recap, you have 3 weeks worth of getting used to each other, building team comps, getting friendly with each other, you know, whatever you guys want to do to get your team off the ground. Very much like the May Melee or the June Joust. So you have 3 weeks to get yourselves together, 6 weeks worth of competitive games, And then a further 2 weeks of the tournament, because both semi-finals will be played at the same time, and then the grand final will be the week later between the two teams who make it. Okay. What else is there for me to tell you guys? Yep. So there's interesting stuff that's going to happen between these stages. Is during the 6 weeks where you're playing in the regular league format before it goes to a knockout bracket. So when you'll have your schedule, you'll know what team you're playing in what week, what order. We'll have it all scheduled out for you guys. Okay? You will have, in very Overwatch League style, predetermined maps. You guys will know what maps you're playing before you've played the match. So you'll be able to organize in your practice weeks certain team comps for certain maps. These maps will change weekly, but they will be available to you the week before your game. Every week. So you guys can prepare map choices and be relatively aware of what you're going to do. I would personally recommend, and we'll organize this for you as well, is that we will make Discord group chats for every team so that people can communicate in their own little servers, basically, and have their own little sections to sort themselves out before games. But in the 6 weeks of regular games, you will have predetermined maps. However, this is where the fun begins a little bit, is in the bracket tournament, the maps will be predetermined by myself and Lakin, but you will not have access to the maps before the game day. So you will find out live with the stream, with the commentary, what the maps are as we give them to you. So that will be the true test of you guys' ability to adapt, improvise, really put your team together in a sense where, you can react to a certain situation, make changes, this and that. So that is what will happen in only the semi-final and grand final, not in the regular game weeks. Okay? And the final big piece of news is that there are not going to be, say it with me, everyone get excited, okay? No hero bans initially, okay? I'm rooting for no hero bans whatsoever, and I think, to be honest with you, I don't think we're going to see hero bans. I'm like 98% sure we'd see hero bans, not happen, okay? And the reason for that is the only reason why we'd want to bring them in ever is if the team comps got very repetitive. But knowing the players that will end up being on certain teams, the likelihood is that each team will be playing different things. So I'm not at all worried about hero bans. And I can pretty much tell you safely that there will not be hero bans. Okay? So that's something we can all celebrate about because we hate hero bans. And that's great. And also, a little bit of news as well that hopefully you guys look forward to is that once you guys are put into your teams, you guys will have complete freedom within TG rules and regs, okay, as to what your team name is going to be. As long as there's no disputes within the squad about what it is, you guys can name yourself whatever you want. You are not limited to Overwatch skins, as per usual TG squads. You can name yourselves whatever you want, okay? You can build your own teams with your own names. You could be the Mr. J gang, Genji gang, you could be whatever. Genji gang XD. You could literally be Genji gang if you wanted to. If your whole team agreed, you could be Genji gang. That could be your team name. You could be whatever you want. And those, excuse me, jeez. Those are fundamentally the ways in which the teams are going to line up. Rugby, thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate it. How are you? So yeah, just a final recap. 5 teams. Teams of 7. Okay? Every team will play each other once after a 3-week training session as their teams on Sundays at normal BST time. During the first round of games, which will be 6 weeks long, where every team will play each other twice, the points will tally in an Overwatch League point format of simple number of wins, number of losses. After the 6 weeks, the team with the worst record will be relegated from the competition, leaving only 4 teams that will go into a knockout bracket style tournament. The first and second semi-finals will be played at the same time, with Lakin commentating on one side, myself on the other, leading up to the grand finals the following week, with the 2 remaining teams, which will be commentated by both myself and Lakin, with a prize at the end. I think it Would be very fun if we had a prize. We've not yet decided pinpoint what the prize will be. I would like it to maybe be like some Overwatch League skins or something. Or if anyone has anything in particular that they'd like to put forward as potential prizes, then we can definitely have that conversation. But yeah, so prizes will be very fun, okay? But now I suppose this is the part that is the most important part. We've got WH Smith gift card. No. No. Maybe a PS4 gift card. Maybe. For the winning team to somehow share amongst themselves. I don't know how you'd do that. Probably not then, right? That's be something relatively cheap because we'd be splitting it 7 ways, remember? So be careful. Nando's. Cheeky Nando's for the lads. Okay then, boys. This is the important part now, okay? Any and all questions you may have, we will go on for as long as there are still questions remaining. But is there anything you guys have got doubts about, would like to ask, or just suggest anything, or anything you guys have got on your mind that you could have clear up? Please ask away. You could donate money for prizes. Have a Lamborghini on sale at the end. How about that? That would be huge. PS5. 7 PS5s for the winning team. When will the teams get revealed? This is a really big point. I'm actually really glad you said that, because to be honest, I was actually just sad. I was like, wait, I was supposed to announce when the teams were going to get revealed. I shouldn't do it. Okay. This week's podcast episode is obviously dedicated to the announcement of the competition itself. Next week's will be the announcement of the full list of teams, with myself and Lakin together announcing the names, doing a little straw poll list of names and putting them in order for you guys. Hopefully a bit of excitement behind that. But no, all the teams will be officially announced, finalized this time next week. Okay? Yeah, we will be streaming the teams being announced. Just like we are doing with this announcement here, the teams will be done exactly the same. That is the plan. So yeah, next week on Friday, Bapple, that's when the teams will be out. And our plan, as far as I'm aware, is that the official first week of the league starting will be the following Sunday. So if it's Friday next week that we announce the teams, Sunday will be a normal practice, Wednesday will be a normal practice, and then Sunday after will be the first practice that you're with your unique teams. Okay? Does that sound good to everyone? Does that sound alright? Gotcha. There we go. Jay's on it. Always on it, that Mr. J. Never in doubt that he understands. Oh, something else that I should also mention. This is really good that I do this. This is so good. This is fantastic that it's streamed, right? Because I can just remember things that I've forgotten mid-conversation. The teams will have designated leaders by technicality. Okay? Because of the format of how we do things in TG, the squads will technically need to have themselves a leader and assistant leader, but realistically, you're all as powerful as each other. There's no one, whipping the rod around saying, do this, do that, do this, do that. You're all supposed to agree with each other when you come up with ideas and have the same level of communication. But for the sake of having it organized properly, there will be people who I will particularly ask to help manage and help roll with their teams. So to make things a lot easier, this will most likely be existing squad staff who are taking part. So for example, let's say Mr. J and Miali. If you two are in different teams, which you most likely will be because of the staff, I say most likely, you might not be, but if you are in different teams for sake of argument, Jay, you might take on a bit more of a director kind of role on your team. Miali, you might do the same on your team. You wouldn't be commanding everyone around saying do this, do that, but you would just be making sure that everything stays civil and proper in TG manner within the practices. Okay, so we want to keep our standard up. Want to make sure everyone has a great time. Don't want any disputes or any quarrels or anything like that, because we're all here to have fun. And this is hopefully, if all goes well, hopefully going to be a great experience for everyone that we can repeat one day as well. Yes, sir. Love to see it. Love to hear it. Any other questions relating to the league? This can be absolutely anything. There's no right or wrong answer. If there's anything you need to think about, please ask away. anything at all, anything that's worrying you, or anything that you might not understand you want to re-explain. I get that I'm not the best at explaining things, so this is why this is recorded, so that hopefully if you rewind it over and over again, it might somehow make sense eventually. If you just listen to me speaking for like half an hour over and over again. We'll take that, won't we? If I could just say the same thing over and over and over in someone's head, then eventually it might make sense. So it makes sense to me at least a little bit. But it's not massively understood sometimes, I get that. Are the roles set as in you can't switch? Okay. This is one of the more difficult points. And this is why in the form you've been asked to give your preferred role. We are going to try and balance the teams in the way that we balance the Scrim Knights, whereby, at least for game one, people are in set roles. This is so that we know that not only the people in those roles will be in a position that they are hopefully comfortable in, but also just so that we know that the balancing is going to work out in terms of the numbers. So the roles will be set as in, if you are told that you have been put into a tank position and your preferred role that you put on the form was tank, then you will stay as a tank. Unless there's massive dispute about this, and then we can sort something else by case. But in terms of roles being set, you will most likely stick to the role that you are given, which will be entirely based on the form that you filled out. This is why we made sure that everyone put in their preferred role as well, just so that we could avoid any drama where possible. George, are the teams really balanced? They will be if I'm making them. Is all I'm gonna say. No comment, but no, I will make sure that they are balanced, and there'll be no bias from me because I'm not gonna be in a team. So there's going to be hopefully no worries about, oh, Sil's just built himself a god team and he's just going to win the whole thing because he built them. Nope, we're going to try and keep them as fair as possible because we're trying to make a spectator event. Obviously, there's going to be teams where a team might massively overperform expectations one week and may beat a stronger team, which would be really cool to see on stream. And it might be a team that plays worse and gets beaten. But we'll have to wait and see. Oh boy, Trophy, what up? And then Bapples asked, is there any chance of a coaching-like thing to go through soon? Not the tournament, but general coaching. Yes. Coaching is something that used to exist and has not existed for a while. But we will be bringing back the coaching system soon. And I'm personally very excited because I'm going to be spending a lot of time and effort revamping it into what I want it to be, which is an actual productive coaching system that we can apply to squads and individuals like we used to, but also just better. So yeah, definitely we're going to bring out coaching soon. We're hopefully going to have some kind of coaching in the form of, I would like to do at some point some VOD review stuff based on this league. So where you see, Overwatch League commentators like Custer and Sideshow on Twitch doing VOD reviews, I would love to do a VOD review of some of the games that we're going to see in this league. Definitely the finals, 100% the finals. Okay, the finals will definitely get VOD reviewed because those are going to be really big games to look at. And yeah, Rugby's put, what if you chose flex position? Would you be assigned a position? You would be assigned a position. What I would do is that I feel like I have quite a good judgment for the most part of like most of the people that we've got who are signed up. So if you've put flex, I will, take into account what I think that you would like to play most likely within that kind of role. But yeah, if you pick flex, you will still end up assigned to a position, but it would make the balancing the teams a lot easier because then you're like a more flexible puzzle piece that I can put into more situations. But yeah, you will still end up assigned to a position, but it will be one that I will like either talk to you personally about as if it's an individual, or that I will be very sure about at least that it's something that people will be comfortable with. And it will all play into the balancing of the teams. So if you're flexing, then that will be also part of the balance as we'll try and have at least one flex per team, if that's how the numbers work out, so that there's not a team where everyone's on their preferred roles and no one's flexing against a team where there's 8 people flexing, for example. During the first stage of the tournament, is it going to be a set of 5 maps against the same team, not just the one map? Yes, it will be like a typical Overwatch League match where it will run in a control, escort, assault, hybrid, control format, 5 maps if need be, but a best of 3 just to win the match, like in a normal Overwatch League standard. And we will release the 5 maps being control, escort, assault, hybrid, control each week. before the games begin, and that'll be how we do that. Which is again the reason why we won't be starting the league quite so soon before the preparation time, because you guys are also going to need that extra week just to see what your first maps are, so you can prepare for those as well, which will be interesting. But yeah, anything else? Anything about the schedule maybe, or would we be allowed to practice outside of our practice? Yes, of course. If you guys want to group up, if you guys can find the time to, sorry, excuse me, then by all means you're allowed to. As if it were, a normal squad practice, you're more than allowed to. I think what was I going to say? The reason why we have to keep it just to a Sunday and we can't also do it on Wednesday is because in terms of the NA time, it's very difficult for some of the NA guys to get on at 3 p.m. BST in a Wednesday afternoon. But for a Sunday, all of them who've signed on have agreed that they can make those times. So that's why we're sticking it to Sunday at EU time, so that the NA people can also make it. Are transfers a thing? No, not fundamentally they're not. But again, if there's, which we're obviously hoping there won't be, but if there's situations where there's major disputes within a team or like big arguments happen or something, then we can look into making some kind of moves. But instead of a transfer of people between teams, it will most likely be people subbing in for, let's say, Lakin or Dabs as one of the people who aren't actually already in the team. Trophy, you still have to play? Of course you are, bud. If you're still able to play and able to commit to a team, as long as your name is still on that form, then by all means, you're allowed to play. And will be processed into the big system of trying to get everything sorted. But yeah, Trophy, as long as you filled out that form, and as long as you know in confidence that you hopefully can make those times, then by all means, yeah, you can still play. As far as I'm concerned, everyone who signed that form will play. So as long as you've all signed that form, then we're all good. But that is the only thing. I've been very big scary. I went around to all the staff and bullied them for a bit so that they made sure that they made everyone signed up. But I think that we've got pretty much everyone signed up, bar a couple who might just not have seen it, or a couple who've got their names down as maybes. But for the sake of you, Trophy, I think you're going to be completely fine as long as you can say that you still can. I forgot the form. Can I do it now? Yes, George, do the form, or you can't play. Please do the form. Do the form. Can you see it, George? It's in WeChat. If you go to the Wheat channel, Jay put a link to it that says, fill in before Friday, please and thank you. Yeah. I know of one or two who can't dedicate the time. That's okay. As long as they've listed in the form that they know for a fact that... Because I think on the form there was a section that was like, do you think you can or can't dedicate? And it's like, yes or no. If they've put yes, that they think they might not be able to, I think is what it was, then we've got a list of all the people who've said that they can or can't dedicate, and that's going to be fine. This is why the squads are going to have 7 members, so that if there's ever a time where someone can't, then it doesn't just ruin their week. They can still play the game. They should be fine. There's always going to be like that one kind of substitute. I'll discuss it with you after this pocket. That's fine. That's completely fine. If you want to send me a DM on Discord, then I'll be right on that as soon as we're done. That's fine. I'm like 75% sure I filled out the form. I know you have done, yeah. You have done. But again, the easiest way to check would be just to re-click on it, and it should say that you've already filled out. It shouldn't let you repeat the form if you've already done it, I think is how it works. But yeah, if you haven't, just maybe double check to see if it lets you do it. If it does let you do it, maybe just fill in another one anyway. It would never be massively out of this world as a problem if you couldn't. When does it start? Okay, so the announcement for the teams will be announced next Friday. Sunday will be a normal practice. Wednesday, as always, will be a normal practice. And then the Sunday after will be a normal practice. It will be the first practice of your new teams. Will ping also be taken into consideration when balancing for NA? Yes, and the way this is going to work, which is really good, is that based on the numbers that we've got, we should have 1 NA per team. Which means that on paper, everyone's in the same boat. If every single player has 1 player that's on 110, then we should be fine. That's where we're going to try and take the balance into account. And again, if ping becomes a super, super, super massive issue for you guys mid-game, you've got a substitute if need be. That's how we're going to try and balance it as fair as we can. Okay. We were experimenting, Lakin and I, with the new settings in the game that make you kind of like try and put a neutral ping zone on so that everyone could be like 80 ping. But I think for the sake of scuffing like 75% of the players so that the other 25 can be on the same ping anyway, I think we're just going to keep it to every team gets one NA that will then be the same advantage, disadvantage for everyone. No one's going to be in a situation where they're winning because of the ping diff or whatever. Okay. It's all going to be fine in terms of NA ping. Smart. Hopefully. On paper, right? Hopefully. Any more for any more? Who's next on the old question list? How does it work with teams with who is in charge of it? Okay, so what we said was that the teams will be given kind of preliminary stuff because it is a TG run squad, so technically speaking there has to be staff involved. But realistically the teams are going to be run as a collective. Sorry, language is hard and I'm tired. It's okay. I got you. So all the teams are going to have people who are going to be assigned as like their team captains. But realistically, there's not going to be any one or two people that are going to be making all the decisions. Every decision is going to be a team decision. Okay? And the first test of that will be the team names. You know, you guys are going to make your team names as a team. All have to agree on it. And when that's the case, that'll be like the first true test of your guys' ability to lead. So yeah, so basically there's going to be squad staff within the teams to kind of keep everything in check, make sure the standards are met, that no one's, swearing or teabagging every 3 seconds, all the basic stuff that we try to avoid. But in terms of actually running the teams, there will be technically assigned captains that will be probably based on just the SR, to be honest with you, just to make it easier. But no, there's the opinion and the command is going to be equally weighted between all the members of the squads. There's going to be no supreme leader, dictator in every squad. Everyone has the same opinion value, and it's all going to be run as one together unit. So yeah, there won't necessarily be people in charge, but there will be people who will be watching out to make sure that things are just going properly. I think is the best way to describe it. I hope that answers your question, Troy. If it doesn't, by all means, try me again, and I hopefully might be able to say it differently. Because I get language is very hard. Yeah, this is true. Been doing French all day. Does it have to be a skin name, or can we make it up like Sparkle Pink Cat Squad? You can literally name it as long as it's within TG regulations, whatever you want. It doesn't have to be a skin name. We made a joke earlier, I think we said Genji Gang for the Mr. J squad. Like, you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't even have to be squad at the end. It could be Potato Bandits versus Polystyrene Balls. Okay, that could be the matchup of the century, right? Justice for Junk. Ooh. Actually. Ooh. Okay, I might let myself veto 1 or 2 names if they're Junkrat related. I might have a little ban hammer come out on a couple of names, make you guys choose again. If I see Junk for Tank. For Germany! If for Germany is a name of a team that is pushed like by the whole team, I will be actively rooting for that team the whole time. Is teabagging banned? Yes, George, if you are caught teabagging in a TG practice, you will receive a warning point, as is TG rules. The fact that you are still here, for me, is unbelievable, to be honest. No teabagging, it's TG practice. Shush. Be nice. No spraying either, okay? No spraying people's dead bodies, no punching people's dead bodies, no teabagging people's dead bodies, okay? Junk for Tank. No, Junk for Tank is not allowed to happen. How about ban Junk forever? That will be my second favourite team, if that is one of the teams. By far. All my team name suggestions have Germany in them. Oh my babble, you're going to be one of my favourite. What if we spray it after a massive ult? That's fine, as long as you're not BMing someone. It's okay. I haven't done it. Yo, George, I've literally seen you commit every crime. That a small teabag. No. No teabags. This is TG rules. Just because Egg just screams constantly and doesn't actually tell people off. They are still the rules. I don't spray their bodies, I just spray before and towards the end of a match. That's fine. Spraying is fine. Just don't BM. You guys aren't stupid. I'm not going to like mother dearest you and tell you everything you need to do. You guys know what the rules are. Just don't be stupid, okay? But remember, you're going to be under the eyes of the grand public because all the games are going to be streamed in the Overwatch League format kind of style. So, I mean, it's up to you guys if you want to risk it because you're going to be in 4K if not, if you get caught. So it's all up to you. But yeah, just don't be stupid, guys. It's fun. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be exciting, hopefully. So, any maybe late arrivers like Trophy who've missed like the first little segment, who got any questions about what it is that we're doing, what the format looks like, what the time scale is going to look like realistically as well? 3, 2, 1, fighting! Obviously. Oh my. We need to do like an Overwatch League segment where they do like comms check. And they do they show all the team comms in like that little YouTube video that they make. So have everyone's comms. Guaranteed there'll just be one team that's just pure silence. And the rest are just like, fighting! It's alright. It's not the end of the world. You missed a lot, yeah. It's okay, Trophy. What have you missed in terms of did you miss the format, the way it's going to run? Have you got any questions about that? Like how the actual time scale is going to work, or what the actual tournament's going to look like in terms of different stages, or the different just time frames between certain things? Yeah, I love those videos. Those videos are fantastic. Absolutely amazing videos. They really are. Be good for my team. You distracted me in a hard couple of days. I got you, Trophy. No worries. You're all good. So, the format. That there will be 5 teams. I feel like I'm going to say this like 8 times, but I hope every time I say it, it gets better. There will be 5 teams of 7 players. These teams will have 3 weeks worth of Sunday practices, so 3 sessions, 3 Sundays together to practice and get to know each other, work out some team comps, see what works, see what maybe doesn't, figure out their strong points, all of that good stuff. This will then lead straight into a 6-week worth of games period where each of the teams will play each other twice, hopefully with a bye week. Okay? We'll wait and see how we go on. It might actually end up being 8 by that maths. It might end up being 8. This is very lacking maths to me, but it might end up being 8. So the teams will all play each other twice, and that will dedicate a score on the team's name in a typical Overwatch League fashion, just based on wins and losses. So if a team goes, let's say they play 4 games and win all 4, just be 4-0. That'll be how the team works. And this will lead straight into the knockout competition. 4 teams will qualify. The team with the lowest amount of points will be relegated from the competition, leading into the knockout rounds, where there'll be 2 semi-finals, leaving us with 2 teams, 1 grand finals, giving us our ultimate winner. And that is how we're going to run it. Let's see how the poll's doing. The OG Mackin has 5 votes. I love democracy. Democracy's brilliant. You should say the numbers in different languages. That would be awful. That would make it less clear. That would make everyone more confused, even. The OG Mackin won the poll. Okay. I'm glad everyone's excited for OG Mackin's Junkrat. How are subs decided? Subs will not be inherently decided. We're not going to label anyone as subs. We're just saying that each team will be 7 people. So that if someone were to sit out, then they would then become, a substitute for a certain team or a certain map. The way we're going to try and do subs is based on your guys' complete idea. Let's say, for example, you've got someone who's really good on Reinhardt but can't really play Winston, and then someone who's really good on Winston but can't play Reinhardt. You guys might decide, oh, we've got Gibraltar this week as one of the maps. Maybe for Gibraltar, we'll let the Winston come in, the Reinhardt come out. You can build the teams however you guys want to build them. but those subs will simply be for your guys' flexibility and as a last resort if someone can't make it, but no one is going to be labelled as the substitute. You're all going to be equal roles, and that'll be just for you guys. Can I be the main sub? No. No, you can't. You cannot be the main sub, George. My allegiance to the Republic, this is true. To democracy. My allegiance is to Lacken, which is fun. That's great. Whew. How are we doing, guys? Is everything all hail C Lacken? True. Any hailers in chat? Is that against TG? Probably shouldn't say that. Probably shouldn't start a dictatorship in the TG Discord. Not again. Anyways. But yeah, how are we getting on with the general overview / understanding, guys? Is it alright? So, final time run through. 5 teams of 7. 3 weeks to know each other. 6 to 8 weeks of games. 3 weeks of tournaments. So realistically, about 2.5 months of fully tournament-based gameplay. Okay? Note it might be hailing outside. It could be hailing outside. UK weather's been quite kind recently, it seems. But we're doing alright. Bruh. Unlucky, George. You can't throw everyone's games by being a sub anymore. Yikes. Bless him. He's so used to being Ryan's sub, that's why. He was sub for Ryan for so long that he wants it. He's got like Stockholm Syndrome. Now that he's been let out, he doesn't want to leave. It's okay, George. You can play the game. You're allowed. The Church of C. Lacken. Oh god. I could legit see like a Lacken church cult following happen. I can picture that. One day. He becomes so powerful. To be fair to him, he's now the DO, right? Like he's now just like the biggest man in Overwatch. Could you repeat it lagged? No. Fine. I don't believe it lagged. I think you're just being an ass. But that's okay. 5 teams of 7. 3 weeks together practicing. 6 to 8 weeks of games. 3 weeks final tournament. All streamed, all commentated, all VOD reviewed. Still, we need to make a Rhine shrine. Dude, I have German cathedrals all over my apartment. I just pray to the hammer. I think I have a post on Instagram that the caption is literally just like, wait, let me find it. Oh wait, I'm gonna have to use the emoji keyboard. Oh god, this is gonna be so scuffed. Oh, the computer, why? Okay, where's, okay. I need to find like the items list in the emoji keyboard. This is incredibly scuffed. I can't find it. Okay, we'll save this for another day, I think. We might have to. Yeah, okay, that's a shame. Let's go back to chat. Why is my chat scuffed? Why have I got emotes everywhere? Close the emotes. There we go. Pray to the dildo Jesus. Jay! TG. Caliber. Language. In the TG Need Healing podcast, thank you. Sorry, I got you, don't worry. The scriptures of Lacken. There must be a certain TG rule somewhere that says you can't make a cult midstream. But I think we may have crossed that line. Okay. One more and you'll get a timeout. True. I'll time him out. Or someone could spend channel points to time out Mr. J. That would be really funny. Does anyone want to time out Mr. J? I might just do it. Might just do it anyway. Time out my first sub. My first round of subs. Just time him out. He's gone. He's out of there. Wait. Wait, is that how that works? Wait. Oh wait, is timeout just random? The Clable. Oh my god. The Clival. The Clival. Oh no, poor Jay just got yeeted. I'm the one I can time out people. Okay. Could you like untime him out because we need to like ask any more questions? But it was very funny. It was very funny. I appreciate that. That was very amusing. I forgot you're a mod. Great power. Okay, everyone, as we are now 49 minutes streamed, we don't want to go on for too long. People have got evenings. There's an England-Scotland game later, I'm pretty sure, that people have to get to at some point. Does anyone have any questions whatsoever about the league as we've described it? It could be absolutely anything. No query too big or too small. We've got all the time in the world, realistically 15 minutes, but that's fine. That's enough time. Thank you, Melly. Thank you so much. But yeah, any final notices before we leave, or I'll do one last summary and we can wrap it up. It's up to you guys. My apologies, Mr. J. Right, buddy, gotta go. Could help you out next week, by the way, if you want. Yeah, by all means. Thank you, Trophy. See you soon, bud. I bet on it. They have to win. George, who did you bet on? Which way did you bet? England? There's no way you bet Scotland to win. There's actually zero way. If anyone bets Scotland to win, they're just a bit stupid, to be honest. But that's okay. We don't discriminate. Everyone's welcome in the Zedso Valley stream. Big hydrate. No one even redeemed it. Look at me drinking water by my own free will. What's wrong with Scotland? I'm not an idiot, Sil. See, he knows. Okay, guys, what we'll do then is we'll do a quick final recap of everything that's been said, and then I think we'll finish off there. And the video will be made available on the YouTube by the end of tonight, and I'll link that to you guys as well. So, for all that it's worth, the TG League tournament will begin in roughly a couple of weeks. There'll be 5 teams, each with 7 players. The teams will play together on a Sunday practice as their own teams, and will play in their normal squads respectively on a Wednesday as per usual. Each team will have 3 weeks worth of practicing together to get to know each other in those Sunday practices, so 3 sessions realistically on a Sunday, just to warm up, figure out some team comps, see what works for them, get some ideas together. That will last for 3 weeks. This will then lead into the main league format of the competition. 6 to 8 weeks worth of matches, where we hope each team will get to play each other twice, which will lead to a total of a maximum of 8 wins possible for each team, because you can't play yourself home and away, so 10 minus 2 is 8. And after the scores have been tallied, which will be tallied in a way sheerly based on wins and losses, in typical Overwatch League stage fashion, where the teams will have 1 to 0 if they win a game, or 0 to 1, or 0 to 4, 4 to 0, 3 to 2, whatever their records look like, that will be how it's tallied, based on a simple win-loss ratio. And at the end of the 6 to 8 weeks worth of games, the team with the lowest score in their win-to-loss ratio will be relegated from the competition, leaving 4 teams to enter into a knockout bracket tournament. The first seed will play against the third seed, the second seed will play against the fourth seed in 2 semi-final matches, which will lead to a grand final the following week. So, to recap, 3 weeks practice, 6 to 8 weeks game, and then 2 weeks semi-final grand finals. Predetermined maps will be given during the league format of the competition. You guys will know what maps you're playing on before the week of the game. In the finals, aka the semis and the grand, you guys will not know what you won't know what maps you're on until the game day. Teams will be able to name their own squads, anything that they want within reason, as long as it's a collective decision and doesn't go against TG rules. It doesn't have to be the name of an Overwatch skin. It can be whatever you guys want. And the big thing that we're going to say so far as the initial statement, which we're going to probably stick to very confidently, is there will not be any hero bans. You guys will be free to play what you want for as long as you want. Okay? We will organize everything for you guys. We will organize the communications. We will organize your guys' channels when we are ready to announce the teams next week. And we will be doing streamed commentary of every game that we watch. If two teams have the same win-lose ratio, would map difference? It would either be map difference or head-to-head. So if they'd won lost against each other, then it would be the team that had won would go through. Let's use it as like an Overwatch. Let's say it was Boston and Toronto were the bottom two teams that had the same ratio. If Toronto had beaten Boston, then Toronto would go through. Despite having the same ratio, the head-to-head would be in Toronto's favor. But if Boston had beaten Toronto, it'd be vice versa. They can't obviously both beat each other, so we do it by head-to-head. Because I think if we were to count maps for a very long time, we would just have like a big list of numbers somewhere, and Lack and I would forget what it means, which isn't great. But yeah, we'll do it like that. So we'll do it by head-to-head. But realistically, with how we hope it's going to go, it should be very unlikely that a team ends up with the same ratio. Because of the odd number of teams, we should at least have one team that will be a little bit lower than the rest by the end of the league stages. And yeah, I think that is pretty much everything. So the streams will all be made available like the scrim nights have been, the exact same way, but in a more organized, routinely scheduled that will be announced to you guys as well. You guys will get your own schedule where you can plan in advance what you're going to do against certain teams. And the finals and grand finals, actually that's a brilliant suggestion, Bapple, to announce the reinitialization of the coaching system. We will be doing streamed VOD reviews of the finals and grand finals in a typical Overwatch spectator kind of fashion, because I think that'd be very fun. Okay, so that is the summary. That's what we've got planned. Please, 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 if you haven't filled in the form, today is your deadline. If you don't have it done by today, we cannot guarantee that you can take part. Need to have it done. Please, please, please have it done. If you haven't done it already, George, do the form. I don't know if you've done it. If you've done it, great. If not, do it, because I will beat you up personally. I will run to Bulgaria, slap, run back. You have to do the form or you can't play. Okay? But if you do the form, then by all means, sit tight. Look forward to next week, because next week, same time, Friday at 5, on episode 4 of the Need Healing podcast, which is now becoming more of like a announcement. Good cardio, yeah, 100%. The podcast is turning into a bit more of like a news outlet, but that's fine. Episode 4 will be myself and Lakin together unveiling the teams in no particular order. Okay, so please, please, please tune in for next week. Next week is the big one, the doozy. Okay, you guys get to choose your teams, and that is when everything will truly kick off. Okay, does that sound good to everyone? Quicker one today. Not really got too much on in terms of announcements, but we'll save it for next week for the actual main event of the teams. Does that sound good? Nah. What doesn't sound good? Please, tell me what doesn't so I can amend it. Let me fix my ways. Gotcha, thanks, Sil. Cheers, Jay. Just kidding. Good, good. You got me. Right, but no, that is everything from me. I think we'll wrap up just about at the hour mark, so it's accessible to people to watch later. But yeah, thank you everyone for sticking through and listening, and I hope everyone watching it in post, you won't be able to see the stream chat, but you will be able to at least listen to me describing the stream chat and hopefully giving you answers to questions that you may have already had. If not, please, if you're watching this in post, please comment on the YouTube video what your questions may have been. If you missed it live, I will be replying to the comments on the YouTube video as well. If not, just DM me on Discord. Said Silvally, whatever, on Discord, send me a message, I will answer it very quickly. Probably. That's probably not true. Probably won't be very quickly, it'll be quite slowly, but I'll get there. Okay, but for now, that's going to be everything from me. Thank you everyone for joining us. That has been episode 3, go lose count, episode 3 of the podcast, and I'll see you guys all next week for the main event. But thank you guys. See you guys soon.